Hello and welcome everyone to this online information session of the Bachelor program Economics and Business Economics of the UvA. My name is Paula Grohmann and I'm a study advisor at this faculty, and I will be your moderator today. First of all, we are really happy to have our program director, Silvia Dominguez Martinez, here. She will tell you more about the content of the program. Then we have two students here, two current students, Irene and Rucha. Welcome. They will also tell you more about their experiences with economics and business economics. And my colleague from my team, from our team study advisors here, Elani, she will be answering questions in the chat in the background. And we also have two colleagues from admissions in the background who will be answering questions as well in the chat box. So this is it for me. I would like to give the floor to Silvia now. And could the others please turn off their microphone and video for the presentation? Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Paula, and thank you all for being there. Even though I cannot see you, it's great to see so many people interested in our program. My name is Silvia Dominguez Martinez, and I'm the program director of the Bachelor in Economics and Business Economics. So what I will do today is we will go through some steps and mostly to give you more information about the program. Let's see whether I can move the slides. Yes. So I will first give you an overview of the program. Then I will tell you why you should study economics and business economics at the UvA. And you will get some experiences from our students. And at the end, we will end with some next steps. So what you see on this picture is you see a market. And markets are a very important topic within economics. Markets facilitate trade and they optimize the allocation of resources in a society. But can everything be traded? Or are there some goods that we cannot trade? So topics that are relevant to take into account when thinking about markets is, are there moral limits to markets? And are moral considerations important when thinking about market decisions? So what we do within economics, we focus mostly on economics and business economics, of course. We analyze markets and we analyze when markets can do a good job. But at the same time, we also look for situations where other organizational forms might be needed. And this might be for several reasons, but one of these reasons can be that some goods perhaps cannot be traded on a market. So what will you learn? So we offer an economic program, economics and business economics program, where you learn these theories connected to economics, to business economics, and depending on the major you choose, you go more into depth in economics or in business economics. So you understand how individuals and organizations operate within society. So think, for example, today you have to make a decision about which program to follow, where to follow it. This is a decision, an individual decision that could be analyzed with theoretical models from economics. However, we are not only interested in theory, we are also interested in seeing whether this theory translates into real world behavior. So for this, we will use real world cases. So we will consider behavior in the real world with real individuals or real countries or real firms, and we will see whether the theories that we have discussed before still translate into the behavior, or if this is not the case, what is driving the behavior and where are the theories not doing that well. Economics and business economics is an analytical and quantitative study. So that's why during the studies, you will also learn and get trained in analytical, statistical, and practical skills. So how does the program look like? So what we have is we have a normal bachelor program that consists of 3 years, and they are divided over 6 semesters. So in the first year and in the first semester of the second year, everyone follows the same program. So both economics and business economics students. But then at the end of year 2, semester 1, you choose whether to go for the major economics or for the major business economics. The benefit of having this structure is that you have 1.5 years to experience both economics courses and business economics courses, and to see which courses you find more interesting and where you would want to specialize in. So you have some time to experience and then make your decision. At the same time, having 1.5 years together, you also get a broader education where you don't only know something about economics if you decide to choose economics, but you also have some background in business economics and the other way around. So this will help you later on when you go into the workplace where you might be working in teams with students from very different backgrounds, that you have a broader knowledge besides economics or business economics. So let's go into the first year. So in year 1, we lay the foundation. So how do our semesters look like? What you can see here is we have in each semester, we have 3 periods. And period 1 and period 2 are large blocks. That means that they have 8 weeks each, while period 3 is a small block and it only contains 4 weeks. So in period 1 and period 2 of the semester 1 and semester 2, you get trained in economic courses, business economics courses, and you get some analytical and statistical skills training. In the short blocks, the focus is on training your skills, where in the first semester, the focus will be on writing skills, and in the second semester, the focus will be on research skills. So the organization is mostly that in the large blocks, you get mostly content courses, and then in the small blocks, you use the knowledge acquired in these larger blocks to apply it to either a writing assignment or a research assignment. Just let me give one example of a first-year course, and also mostly because you probably will be looking at other universities and at other EBE programs at other universities, and you will notice that many of the courses are the same. So in economics and business economics study will have courses in macro, micro, accounting, finance. This is very common, independent of where you study. So that is not very specific for the UvA. So what we distinguish ourselves from could be the principles in economics and business 1. In this course, you are already exposed to decisions in the real world and exposed to guest lectures of experts on this field. So it makes it already that from the beginning on, you are exposed to people that are either an expert from an academic perspective, they are an expert because they are involved in the industry and working at large companies, or they are an expert because they are working at governmental institutions. So this gives you already an overview of the type of jobs that can be connected to the type of decisions. So then in year 2, you choose your major. And the major, in the major, basically the first semester, as I mentioned earlier, you still choose, you all follow the same program, so there's no distinction. But then in the second semester, you either choose the major economics or the major business economics. And so you have the first semester still to make the decision whether to go for economics or business economics. And then you specialize. If you specialize in economics, you get additional courses in economics. If you specialize in business economics, you get additional courses in business economics. But then perhaps the question is, what is economics and what is business economics? So as you know, as you have seen, we offer you a very similar background, and that is basically we give you an economic toolkit. The only difference is where we apply it, to what the application is. So when we think about economics, we think about the use and allocation of scarce alternative applicable resources. So how can we allocate scarce resources in the economy? Or how can you make decisions when you have alternatives? These topics are at the basis of economics. So we look at decisions of individuals, of countries, and also the implications of economic policy. So some topics that will be considered or that are interesting, I included 2 examples. One is economic growth, but also things like inflation. That is mostly a macroeconomic topic, and how the European Central Bank can influence inflation. These are all topics that are relevant within mostly macroeconomics, but also decisions about whether you should give a fine to Apple because they have tried to reduce competition. This is also an important question when we think about antitrust regulations, and this is more a bit on the microeconomics side. So it's mostly about decisions of individuals, but also of countries, and sometimes also of firms, and also the interrelationship with economic policy. So with business economics, what we do is we use this toolbox, and we use this toolbox to look at decisions of firms. So we look at how we can use the economic tools that we learned in the first few semesters and see how this applies to firms. The decisions that we are mostly interested in are investment and financing decisions. How do firms make these decisions? But also when you think about investment and financing, it is also important to decide how do you measure success within a firm, and how do you report this information. And finally, we also look at how you can motivate employees, so more focusing on the internal organization of firms. In business economics, we have 3 specializations. So accounting and control, finance, and organizational economics. So accounting and control is mostly interested in the measurement and reporting of information. How do we make sure that we have the right information and how do we report this information? Finance is more about investment and financing decisions of firms, and organizational economics is more related to the internal organization of firms and how to motivate employees. Of course, they are interconnected because everything is about decisions in the firm, and that makes that they, of course, you need the other fields to also know something about your own field. And that's why in the second semester of year 2, you still follow courses together that are connected to the different specializations. So 2 examples that I included is one related to motivated employees. So because of so firms are making big attempts to reduce emissions, and could you perhaps, as a firm, motivate your CEO or your executive to be more motivated to reduce emissions if you start paying him for reducing emissions? Of course, if the CEO receives pay that is connected to the reduction of emissions, then this might incentivize him to reduce emissions. The downside is that emissions are influenced by many things, also things that the executive cannot control. The other example I included is also decisions of firms. So that was the decision of Coolblue to make an initial public offering. So often firms can be looking for ways to increase their funds. And one way of doing this is by going public and basically listing shares and selling parts of the stock of the company to others. So the benefit is, of course, that you get more funds. The downside can be that you are now have different owners of the company. So the decision whether or not to go public is good for a company, that is something that is at the core of business economics and perhaps a bit more in specific to the finance specialization. And then in year 3, well, we say it here very clearly, you can follow your interests. So the first semester, you have freedom to choose. So you can do an internship. That means that you go work for a company and do an assignment there, very practical, connecting the theory that you have learned during your studies to a practical assignment within a firm. So you build up experience in firms and basically also see better the connection between theories and the real practical decisions that have to be made in firms. You can study abroad. So the UvA has many partner universities. So that means that you go one semester to a different country, different institution. So this helps you to be exposed to a different culture, a different type of educational system. And I think it is a great experience. Many of our students find this very interesting. And so if this is something that you find interesting, then you can do a study abroad. And the last option that you have is you can do a minor. So what is a minor? A minor is a structured program of 30 credits, or sometimes they are smaller, but most of the times it's 30 credits, so half a year, where you specialize in one topic. So some students decide to stay close to home, and basically they do something that is connected to economics. So for example, the sustainability and economics minor. But some students, they have very broad interest, and they use this semester to expand their knowledge. And so we have some students that do a minor in art history. So it's up to you what you find interesting and how you design your first semester. And then in the second semester, you follow specialization courses. So depending on which specialization you have chosen, and you write your thesis. So year 3, you have quite a bit of freedom to choose what fits your interest. And there's none of these alternatives is superior. In the end, it is what you find interesting and want to do in this third year. So some of you might also be going to the presentations of business administration. And often a question that we often receive is, what is the difference between business administration and business economics? So in the end, we look at the same type of questions. Both business administration and business economics look at decisions of firms. So in that respect, it's very similar. However, we have a very different approach. So business administration is more multidisciplinary, so looks at the problems of firms from different disciplines. It's more focused on managerial decisions, so it's much broader. Business economics, because it's connected more to economics, is more focused on an economic toolbox that we apply to decisions of firms. It's much more analytical, and the focus will also be often on financial aspects. So in the end, you cannot make a wrong choice. It depends on what your preferences are. And both are about solving business problems. What we just take a different approach how we focus in our education. And then, of course, for the parents, this is also important, but perhaps for you, you find it also interesting. Yeah, what can you do after you graduate from a bachelor program? So what we observe is that many of our students continue with master program. So it's still very common that the students follow a master program either at our university or at other universities. So this is still the majority of students that graduate from our bachelor program. However, throughout the years, we do see that more students go into the industry, start working, and that they are very good in finding good job opportunities. What exactly you will be doing, that depends a bit on what your interests are and what you specialize in. But we have, where students normally end up is in government institutions, in banks, industry, consultancy. Some of them start their own company, and some pursue a PhD. So they continue at the university, specializing more in the topic. So it depends a bit about interest, but career opportunities are endless. And what we observe is that if you think about firms, any big firm will need a good economist or a good business economist. So there's a lot of demand for students that have a background in economics or business economics. Many firms or government institutions, they are interested in the analytical background that our students get. And so we are not concerned about you finding a job after you graduate, but we do see that the majority continues with a master, or sometimes starts working and then in the end still does a master. So I've listed some companies where we have students, so the Dutch Central Bank, the big banks, some consultancy firms, but also other firms. You can see some examples, but this is not a complete list. So we have many students at many different organizations. Yes. I think we have some moments for Q&A.
Yes. Thank you so much for your clear presentation, Sylvia. And thank you to the audience, to the prospective students for all your questions and interest. We have one question that is a bit longer. Is there an option, but that got more likes? Is there an option to choose in year 2, 3, 4 extra courses, electives to follow, or a minor in mathematics or linear algebra or probability or econometrics, statistics, calculus courses? So as an add-on, as an EBE bachelor student, because there's a big interest in financial engineering, quantitative finance, which in most universities allow Bachelor of Economics with some courses in algebra or mathematics. Much appreciated.
Yeah, so sorry, my computer has today,
No worries.
I think, a day off. Sorry. So I have difficulties unmuting it or muting it. Yes. So in principle, it's not that easy to follow courses at the econometrics. And the main reason is that often students do not have the higher entry requirements that are required for econometrics. So there are possibilities of following other courses, and that can be, of course, econometrics courses as long as they don't overlap with courses that you have had, so that go beyond. But I do experience that it is sometimes difficult to follow them here at the UvA because of the entry requirements. So I don't know whether this answers your question. So and if you perhaps also to expand on it, in principle, if you get admitted to a minor where you meet that they think that you can do it, given your background, then of course, as long as it doesn't overlap with the program, you can follow it. So for us, there is no restriction in terms of that you would be able to put these courses on the curriculum as long as they don't overlap with some other courses. But it might be not always so easy to get into econometrics courses because of the difference in entry requirements.
Thank you. The next question is, what is the male-female ratio, I think, in terms of students? Sylvia, do you have a rough idea? It changes also throughout the years, of course, I can imagine.
It changes a bit throughout the years. And it depends a bit, it varies also a bit by specializations. But I would say it's, and I have to be careful because I teach in a specialization where the ratio is relatively good towards females. I would say it's perhaps 35-40% females.
Okay.
But don't pin me on that because I should know, but at the moment I don't know. Sorry.
No, but I think it also
that's a bit
changing.
Of what I experience when I interact in different places. So that's just a rough estimate based on my perhaps biased view of the world.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. Then we have another question. Does the program focus more on economics or business economics or a mix of both? I think that depends on the major you choose. So you can actually make that choice. It has both contents, of course, in the first 1.5 years, but maybe Sylvia, you want to elaborate more.
Yeah, I can go back basically to the structure.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank
so
you.
Here, when you choose your, in the first year, what you can see is that there is an equal mix of economics and business economics. So microeconomics is a course that is related to economics. Macroeconomics is a course related to economics. And then principles of economics and business is a mix between business and economics. And the courses on finance, economics of markets and organizations, and accounting, they are mostly related to the business economics specialization. But keep in mind that some business economics are also economically driven. So there is like quite some variation. So in principle, it's, I think, in the common years, it's 50-50. So then we have in year 2, the first semester, you still see that there is like some courses that are both finance or both business economics oriented and more economics oriented. But then, of course, once you specialize, then in the major economics, you will get predominantly economics. And of course, you can use some of your elective space to also follow some business economics courses. That's in principle fine. But if you just follow economic courses, then it's more oriented on economics, and in the business economics, more on business economics.
Thank you for clarifying. I have another question that is related to that, and this will be the last question for this Q&A. The others we will cover later on, because it's also really nice to hear from our students, which we do next. But one more question is, hello, may I know how specialization in year 3 works? Are there specific fields, subjects that I can choose to focus on? Do you want to take that one, Sylvia? You already
no problem. So if you choose the major economics, then the specialization consists of a choice of 4 courses from a list of econ courses, and the list consists in total of 12 courses. So you choose 4 out of 12, depending whether you're more interested in micro or macro. So that's a bit of the division of courses. And what you decide to do in the first semester, because the courses for economics run throughout the whole year. So there you choose 4 out of 12 of these restrictive electives, and you write a thesis on an economics topic. And in business economics, you specialize either in finance, accounting, or organizational economics, and then you get 4 dedicated courses to the specialization, and you write your thesis. So there you really specialize on a topic, and then the courses are related to this topic.
Yes, thank you. Now I would like to go on, because we do have 2 students present, Irene and Lucia, to tell us more about their experiences with economics and business economics. And I think that's really nice for all of you prospective students. So I would like to give the floor to Irene first. Can you turn on your camera and tell us more about your experiences?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Irene, and I'm currently in my 3rd year studying economics and business economics at the UvA, University of Amsterdam. And I'm about to start writing my thesis on labor supply. I remember being in your shoes, feeling both excited and overwhelmed about choosing the right program and university. So I wanted to share a bit about my journey and why I ended up here. I'm originally from South Korea, but I've lived abroad for most of my life, spending time in the Philippines and China. And before coming to university, I also had some working experience at an international airport. So I've been interested in economics since high school. So when it was time to choose a university, I knew I wanted to continue learning in this field. And when deciding where to study, I considered everything, including the environment, safety, living costs, and the university's academic reputation. And Amsterdam stood out as a great choice, and I'm glad I made that decision. I love the city, the way everyone cycles, the beautiful nature, and the balance between city life and peaceful spaces. And one thing I value most about my program is how it emphasizes both theory and application. Professors understand the importance of real-life application. They actively bring in recent articles and remind us to think critically in real-world situations. And I also really like the concept of lectures and tutorials. Lectures are the big sessions where professors explain the core concepts, and tutorials are smaller classes with around 20 students led by tutors. And in tutorials, we solve problems, interact with the tutors, and apply what we've learned in lectures. So it's a great opportunity to ask specific questions and deepen your understanding. And also, before coming to university, I was a bit worried about mathematics. Since I had moved around a lot, switching high schools along the way, my math curriculum was somewhat inconsistent. But once I started my first year at EBE, economics and business economics, the very first course was Mathematics 1 for economics, and that course gave me the opportunity to review my math skills and learn step by step. And now I'm specializing in the economics track, which requires the most math compared to the other tracks, which are finance, accounting, and business economics. So because of the way the courses are structured, I believe you won't struggle that much, even with math, as long as you stay engaged and follow the steps laid out in the program. And also, if you're willing to take more courses from other tracks in your second or third year, like finance or accounting voluntarily, in my case, yeah, if you meet the requirements, which is what I'm doing. So yeah, that's answers a bit for the question a while ago. And that being said, you do have to devote a lot of time to self-studying. University life isn't like high school anymore. You have to take responsibility for your own schedule. And the courses are not extremely complicated, but they do require your effort. And also, like if you want to take more courses or if you want to do an internship or a minor, we have a credit requirement. So you might wanna uh be on track, so you can't procrastinate and like move all the courses to the third year. I'll just do it in my third year. No, that's not gonna work. So better be motivated and study hard even from your first year. And looking ahead, I'm still exploring my options about after finishing my bachelor's. I probably pursue a master's at the university while doing an internship in Amsterdam, but I'm not sure yet. And if there's one thing I'd want to leave you with is it's that your journey won't always go as planned, and that's okay. Sometimes you might feel like you're falling behind, or you failed one course, you feel like you're dumb, or like things aren't clicking. And I've been there, and I know many friends who have been there, but finding what motivates you and being open to new experiences can really make all the difference. So it's all right. And I hope you enjoy university life to the fullest. Be motivated, look for sports clubs, student associations, and get involved as much as you can. It's a great way to meet people, build skills, and make lasting memories. And also consider learning Dutch if you're not Dutch, if you want to stay here after university, since networking is quite important in the job market, which is what I feel. Yeah, people would be impressed to see your effort if you speak Dutch. And there are many work opportunities for non-Dutch speakers, but the pool will widen if you do speak Dutch. So that's one tip from me. And yeah, that was from my side. Thank you for listening, and I hope my story gives you some insight as you navigate your own path. Now I'd like to hand it over to Richa.
Thank you so much, Erin. Hi, my name is Rucha. I was born and brought up here in the Netherlands in a small town called Amstelveen, which is right under Amsterdam. And my journey to choosing EBE is quite unconventional, to say the least. I started picking out the study chemistry. So I started doing chemical engineering and chemistry at TU Eindhoven, which is down south in the Netherlands. And I chose it on the basis of if I become an engineer and then I do my MBA, I'll secure a good job. And after those 4 years or after those 3 years, my life would be set. What I didn't realize, though, that the most important thing is choosing your study based on what you like. I chose my study initially based on what I thought I wanted to become. And that is one of the biggest tips I always now root for and tell people, that make sure to choose your study based on what you like. How I knew I liked economics and business economics is because I found myself often wondering how certain businesses operate in certain markets and why the same business model can't operate in other countries. I loved reading about or engaging in conversations about IPO stock openings for certain companies, how that changes the market. I loved understanding why products work in a certain way, etc. And I enjoyed those classes in high school. I enjoyed engaging in those conversations with family friends that used to come over for tea. And that's how I realized that I do really like the subject. And you should, in fact, study a subject that you like. And it shouldn't be just written off as a hobby. Now, when it came to choosing which university to study, of course, it was closer to home, considering that I only live 40 minutes away. But also comparing it to the other universities in the Netherlands itself, I like the fact that the UvA allowed me to explore both economics and the business economics side for a year and a half, to say, your first year and then the first half of the second year. I felt like it wasn't too long nor too short. It gave a good balance of both subjects, and then I can make my choice. Compared to some other universities where you only get exposed to both for a year, and some other universities where you are forced to take both courses for 2.5 years, which I felt was too long. I think a year and a half is a good amount of time to kind of know, like, okay, I don't like economics or I prefer business economics. So that was one of the main reasons. And another reason was because of the vast network that the UvA has with multiple other industries and companies. Of course, Amsterdam is the capital, so it has a great connections to multiple industries. And just comparing, just a simple career fair, for example, has so many different types of companies that come along, and they're always open to talk. So that was my choice. That was my reasoning as to how I chose UvA specifically. One of my favorite things about studying in the UvA is all the core curricular activities that they have to offer. And so basically every study has their own association. For example, this one, Economics and Business Economics, has a study association called SEFA, and there's many events, opportunities, committees that you can join, and it gives you not only an amazing chance to network with fellow students and companies, but also just enriches your days because obviously studying can get quite daunting if you do it all the time. Um, so yeah, I really recommend my biggest tip or takeaway for all of you guys is to make sure to choose a study that you thoroughly enjoy because when you choose your study based on what you want to become, it becomes quite difficult because there's so many jobs in the market. You cannot choose from now what you want to become and then choose your study based on that. The UvA's website is extremely detailed in terms of which courses there are going to be, what those courses mean. You can even go into the course catalog without being an UvA student already and check out the description of those courses. So just see if you really would like studying each of those courses. And if you do, then that's how you know you're making the right choice. Because when you like what you're studying, you'll put in more effort, you'll have time, and you'd be willing to engage in all these other core curriculars that the UvA has to offer. And you'll find the right track for you. And as Irene said, not everything goes as planned, and trust us that that is the way it should be. There are going to be many openings for you in the future. So yeah, good luck choosing your study, and I'm sure you guys will all be great. Paula, I'll hand the word over back to you now.
Thank you so much. We now have time for a short Q&A with our students, Rucha and Irene. Irene, can you please turn your cameras back on? And I saw that there are already 2 questions for our students. And first of all, thank you so much for sharing your stories. For me, it was very inspirational and interesting. So I hope you inspired a lot of our prospective students as well. The first question is, are there many contact hours? Can one of you maybe tell us a bit more about how a normal week looks like for you? Irene, I think you already mentioned the difference between tutorials and seminars before, but I don't know if who of you wants to go first. Thank you. Yeah.
So usually we have 2 courses at a time, and each course has like 2 hours or 2 lectures and 2 tutorials in 1 week, and each class is 2 hours. So if you calculate that, that's like 2, 4, 8 hours in total for 1 course, and double that if it's 2 courses. But it really depends on the course. Like some courses, it's only like 1 lecture in a month because it's across the whole semester. So it really depends. Usually there are some students who attend both the lectures and tutorials, and that's amazing. That's what we recommend. but some who are too busy, they have to do something like they have to work outside, then they can also skip the lectures because they're not mandatory and just attend the tutorials. But we do recommend attending both of them. If there's anything to add, Richa?
No, yeah, I agree. And maybe it's also nice to know that mostly in first year, your tutorials are mandatory, your lectures are not. And in second year, that changes. But obviously, lecturers are smart. So they always keep incentives in the tutorial. So maybe you get a bonus, or maybe the answers are not uploaded on Canvas later on. So there's always incentives to join later on. But in second year, nothing is mandatory.
Thank you for your answers. We have one more question. Are there a lot of group activities and assignments? Rucha, do you want to answer that one? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So, as you saw in the presentation, Principles of Economics and Business Economics 1 has a like 30%, I believe, or 20% is a group project or a group presentation. But it keeps on changing. I know that Principles 2, in my year, we had a group essay, but now it's not the case anymore. I would say the group projects in the first and second year are relatively low, maybe one course in a year, maybe two courses in a year maximum. But depending on your minor that you can choose in third year, because I'm looking into that, there's a lot of group project work in a lot of the electives and in a lot of the business administration minors. So it really depends on the courses, but in general, for the study of economics and business economics, I would say maybe one class in a year would require a group project, and it's not also 100%. It's just a percentage of your grade. I hope that answers the question.
I think it does. Thank you so much. I would say thank you both again. You will still be present also in the end when we have another time point block for the Q&A. But I would like to continue now with our presentation. So I would like to give the floor back to Sylvia. And then at the end, we have time for another round of questions.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Irene and Rucha, for your experiences, sharing your experiences. So let me see whether I can move around again. So what we, as of next year, we will have, so as of 2025, 2025 and 2026, so next academic year, we will offer a Dutch and an English track. The Dutch track is there mostly for smooth transition to the English taught program. So both tracks are identical in terms of the level and the content. So you have the same program, but the main difference is that in the Dutch tracks, you have tutorials and exams in Dutch. So this gives you the opportunity to transition to an English taught program more smoothly. The English track, on the other hand, will have everything in English. So it's unclear. So it's basically in the end your decision what you like best and whether you need this smooth transition or not. In all cases, the material and the lectures will be in English. And so the main difference is that tutorials and exams are in Dutch in the Dutch track and in English in the English track. So you can choose which you like best. And so with respect to the entry requirements for the economics and business economics bachelor, so we have 3 entry requirements. You have a diploma equivalent to the Dutch VWO, you have a mathematics proficiency and English proficiency. So basically, you have to show some quantitative background and also your English proficiency, of course, if you apply for the English program. And of course, on the website, we have all the entry requirements, and there are also people from admissions. Individual cases we will be unable, or individual questions we will be unable to answer today, but more on the general entry requirements or where to find them. It's on the website, and basically it's Dutch VWO equivalent, mathematics and English proficiency. The application deadlines, so it depends a bit on where you are located, where you're from. So for non-EU EEA students, the application deadline is April 1st. And for Dutch students and EU students, the application date is May 1st. So you will also have to, if you, as part of the application, you will have to follow UvA matching, which introduces the bachelor programs. Basically, it is designed to assess whether the program is a good fit for you. So it's mostly there to help you in making the choice. So you experience some lectures and you can better determine whether a bachelor program in EBE would be something for you or not. So that will be part of the admissions application elements. So then, of course, the biggest question, why economics and business economics at the UvA? Or perhaps, why not? The UvA is a great university. And of course, I'm a bit biased, so I'm not super objective. But let me give you some objective elements that, of what we offer. So we offer a challenging and interesting program. We give you the freedom to choose in your third year. That gives you the opportunity to really do things that you like to specialize, that are perhaps beyond your program or that are very closely related to your program, but it gives you the opportunity to make and design your own program. We have an excellent international reputation, so on the rankings we do very well. And we have a very diverse teacher and student population, so we have more than 90 nationalities on campus. So there are many reasons why the University of Amsterdam, besides having a great campus and being in Amsterdam, especially today, it's a very nice and sunny day. So then walking around the campus is a great experience, but we do offer also something. So this is why you should come to do economics and business economics at the UvA. And I will give now the word back to Paula.
Yes, thank you. I would like to tell you a bit more about the next steps. I hope that you got more interested and fascinated by the program. But it's always good also, as Rucha said, dive into there's a lot of information online, make sure that you make the right choice for yourself, compare different programs online and see what is the best match for you. Maybe you are even attending different of these sessions. It's also a really good way to find out if a program is a good match, of course. We have our Open Campus Day, which takes place this Friday on March 14th. You can still sign up. You do need to sign up in order to attend. So please make sure to sign up if you haven't done that yet. And I would also highly recommend to register for the experience days that take place in April. And there you can really see firsthand how education looks like at our faculty, how a seminar looks like, and a lecture. So that's also a really good way to see if the program is a good match for you. And if you feel like this is the right choice for me, make sure to apply on time, either before the 1st of April or the 1st of May, depending on your background. And we do hope that you got a lot out of this, and we hope to meet and seeing lots of you back in September this year when you have the start of your academic year. This is it from the presentation part. We do have time for another Q&A now, and I can see that we have some questions left. Let's see. The first one is it also possible to do an internship abroad? I can answer that, Sylvia, if you have something you let me know, or just start talking, of course, if you have things to add. But in general, it is possible. You can do the internship for credits in your third year abroad. But keep in mind that it is your responsibility to find an internship position. So if you have a good network, maybe in your where you're from, or if you have a network elsewhere, that could be really helpful. And keep in mind that next to the internship, I also saw a question about that earlier in the chat, that you do need to follow 3 elective courses as well. So it takes a bit more planning maybe, but it is possible. as long as you fulfill the requirements for the internship and start making your plans on time. Then we have another question. Is there a realistic possibility for working abroad after finishing the bachelor? Sylvia, do you have any idea how many of our graduates start working anywhere else or alumni?
I don't really have like very statistics, but I would not expect that there would be a problem. So we offer a program and that is internationally recognized. So we also have many international students who go back to their home country and find a job there. So I don't see why that would be a problem. We offer a good program that I think would be recognized by all large firms, independent of where you go. We also have students that end up taking master programs abroad, where it's also recognized very well, even at very good international institutions that are more highly ranked than Amsterdam. So of course we are also great, but I mean we have to also be realistic. And so we do see that our program is opening the doors towards masters, and I don't think that should be different for jobs abroad. And we do see that our international students sometimes go back to their home country.
Yeah, thank you. We don't have any open questions left at the moment. We will now wrap up this online information session. I would like to thank all of you for attending and for all the questions that you asked. And yeah, I want to wish you, on behalf of all of us, all the best with choosing your program. We hope our program is a good match for you, of course, but make a good choice for yourself. And hopefully we can welcome you at the UvA soon in September. Have a good day and take care.